and you still haven't learned to twerk.
Oh, I can twerk, but then the pants get destroyed.
Welcome back to another Linux Gamecast Weekly, the show that covers the latest Linux gaming news, reviews, how-tos, and most importantly, whatever the hell else we come up with. I'm Old Man Vin in beautiful downtown Athens, Georgia. I'll be switching the bits, joined every week by Jordan Swag up there in Canada's land, and staying up late past his bedtime with a blue microphone that he will never dust that damn thing. Every time I look at it, I'm like, you need to draw like a happy face on it.
Wait, what was that movie we were talking about that had the blue tint? Vanilla Sky or some shit?
No,
Blade Runner.
Oh,
Blade Runner.
Yes. Go back and watch the pre-super shows, which is the live stream. Come check us out live on Twitch right here Saturday
Vanilla
night.
Sky.
Vanilla Shrek, ladies and gentlemen. But speaking of live, that's you helping us form Cocaine Voltron. Gentlemen, prepare to be not blue, but green with envy.
Okay.
Because I got a bag. Not a bag of dicks. No. I know everyone's most familiar with a bag of dicks, which rightfully, you might be. You're a little bit greedy if you get an entire bag. You know, did you bring enough for the entire class? I got a bag of Wi-Fi antennas.
Oh.
And like the little wire things and the little nuts and shit.
What is the over-under until you start having little sword fights with the antennas? Because that's what I do with them.
Well, I've learned that these antennas, even though they all look exactly the same, are different.
Oh.
Yeah. Some of them are for the 2.4s, some are for the 5s and 6 and 7s. I got to plug them in different. Like, this is
and they're physically different?
No, they're not.
So it's the same lump of metal inside plastic. It's just.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, that's what threw me off.
Yeah, this is the neat part. They all look exactly the same. They come in the bag. I'm working on eventually sticking together, building my own OpenWRT router with Wi-Fi 7 and fiber on it and all this. And
blackjack hookers.
Yeah, all that thing. Envy me for whatever. Maybe we could put some. I have no idea, but I'm having to get all these parts because they sent me like the base kit with like the Wi-Fi 7 module. Why? Because I asked them, hey man, what Wi-Fi module can I buy to get this? And they just like, fuck you, here. So but they didn't send me all the other bits I need to build the damn thing. So I'm like, slowly, I completely spaced. I got most of the stuff I need. I still need the fucking heatsink. We'll get there. Stay tuned. Anyway, I was excited about my bag of Wi-Fi. I was like, I never thought I'd have a bag of Wi-Fi antennas.
I have a box of them somewhere, but that's like from
I have a bunch of laptop Wi-Fi cards and Wi-Fi wires and the little
Wi-Fi wires.
Yeah.
Yes. The wire that goes.
No, don't elaborate. Let us just fill that in.
It goes into the hinge and then onto the screen where the little chunks, like the sheets of copper are that work
wires.
as the antenna.
The thing
those little motherfuckers that don't seem like they're going to go on or off, but they do somehow, and you just like
they remind me of like gene snaps or whatever, like on a pair of pants or whatever.
Oh, they need Wi-Fi. They need to be buttons. You get it.
I maintain I want to bring back the Frankenstein switches.
Here's like one of the things though, man. Like when I was doing like research for these, there's two different types of those little bullshit connectors.
Yes.
Which I didn't know, and I'm like, okay, internet, how do I identify between these two? Blake fucking stared.
That's the fun part, Mark. You don't.
So I ended up like getting this from Banana Pie as well, because they do have a store with all the other optional accessories. And I'm not going to risk the biscuit on that one. Jordan, what's up? What's new with you, my man?
Not much this week. I am looking forward to tomorrow, though. I'm getting like a cable tower for my gym.
A cable tower?
Yeah, like those cable stations they have at gyms where you can like attach your body to them and you can pull. They're connected to a bunch of pulleys. So I'm getting one of those and it's adjustable, so I'll be able to, do a bunch of weird exercises, get even more not being able to fit in my pants.
You would get Crocs on,
dude. I like that was the problem I ran into at my cousin's wedding. I had bought the suit earlier in the year, but my legs got too muscular and they. Like sitting down in that thing was a challenge. I was fearing like containment breach constantly.
All this fucking work and you still haven't learned to twerk.
oh, I can twerk, but then the pants get destroyed, and that was
It's too powerful.
Yeah, it's too powerful for you.
Pedro Mateus, you've been playing some online multimedia role-playing stuff this week, haven't you?
Yeah.
Dancing Joe got you back into it, didn't he?
Yeah.
Twisted his
lovely.
arm, dude. Like literally withheld sustenance.
I saw the
Lovely
submission
patron,
hold. His face
Dancing
turned
Joe
purple.
too.
Mm-hmm.
Very much like, there's the new update coming for New World, the Aeternum version, which is basically the console release. I have opinions on that, but yeah, he he's like, yeah, no, I'm gonna start playing again, starting up a new character. It's like, all right, fine, I'll try it. And I tried it, and I can safely say this, I'm pretty sure this is what they wanted to do with the game the whole time. They just didn't have the money or the time to do it.
And your video
now.
card didn't even explode.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, my video card didn't even explode, but the game actually feels finished now.
Okay.
A lot of the that's not cooked. That needs a little bit more time.
Joe?
No.
Pedro solos MMOs, dude.
Right,
Yes.
yeah, he's like, hey, come play this game with me. And he's like, I won't play this game by myself.
Every single MMO Pedro's
playing
ever
the game,
played, you can
just
track
not
his progress up until that one quest where it forces you to do something with somebody else and it bounces.
Oh, man, I had
that's one of the things they changed. They made all the group content that was mandatory.
Mhm.
Now it's optional.
Developers, I hope you take a note from that. Don't force a motherfucker, because like sometimes you want to just get in a world and fuck around. You don't want to drag your fucking friends into that shit. You don't want to talk to randos online and be like, can I do this thing with you? Like, I ain't got time for that shit.
Yeah,
I had some brief experience when I joined Pedro for Neverwinter Nights, the odd time.
Right. Like literally probably the only two people
I
on
like
this
to play
planet.
games on myself.
If I got that fucking message, these are probably the only two people on the planet I would even consider. Be like, could you install this and come over here and like do this thing for 30 minutes? I'm like, I feel you on that. All right, fine. But that shouldn't be a thing. And it's definitely not something our horse would be interested in, because it's solos. Let me solo horse.
Let me solo horse. I mean, the horse is just very, very lonely. It needs another pile of jello to come merge with it and make its life complete. It's the Steam
Update of the week. Ladies and gentlemen, bad news. Pour one out for my cursor that was hiding over here on this little monitor. Junk Store has been removed from the Steam Store. I know, it went poof, forcing me to learn what a junk store was. I'm like, what? Okay, sure. That went away. We probably need to cover that. It's an integrated Epic launcher for the Steam Deck. ? I think. I'm pretty sure. I'm like 80% sure. That's what it does. Now, turns out Steam does not allow applications that dick around with the interface or modify the client code, as they wrote back to the developer after taking the money and putting it up on Steam. Now, which leads me to believe what some people might have suspected, that the Steam review process is verifying that the check cached. That's pretty much it in 2024. Also, I don't think Steam is big on apps that let you play and buy games off of their platform. Again, though, gentlemen, I think this is would be a most welcome feature. And the reason I tossed it in the show, because I know we've all tossed around the idea of like, wouldn't it be handy to have Heroic Games Launcher or Lutris also in Steam? Now, I want to believe that the reason that this was ejected and kicked back was they were doing something to the interface, nothing malicious. It was like, hey, we want to do a tight integration. Why are they having to do that? Well, you can't get SteamOS and download it and do it yourself. And it's working much the way if you've ever used like the theming application in Steam.
This thing started off as like a paid version of a Decky plugin, and I think that's really what the issue is that they were wanting to charge money for this on the Steam store, and like you can install this on your own Steam Deck by just installing the app as you normally would, but yeah, making it purchasable in the Steam store is, I think, the main sticky wicket to Ben's points about like putting additional storefronts in front of Steam and directing money away from them.
Yeah, they're not a big fan of
the
that, but I
official
would like
reason.
something like this because you look at this fucking plugin, and you're like, oh, how hard? And I was like, I looked at that and I'm like, listen, it's not, I would really have to have a Epic Games library before I would be asked. It would be much better for an application like this, for Lutris, for Heroic, or whoever, to just be able to click install and be done with it. Pedro, would you disagree with that violently?
No, in fact, I think there is already a place for that, which is if you want to load up something like Decky Loader or any of the add-on plugin type of situations for the Steam Deck, that already exists. That lets you do that. That's the place for stuff like this. Because yes, Valve probably don't want people to be able to just get the games that they have from the competing store on there. Even though some
the other store
developers
gives it to me for free, so I don't have to.
Yeah, well,
even though some developers
not-
are actively telling their players that they should absolutely add their game as a non-Steam shortcut so that they can make use of all of the Steam features without actually having the game on Steam.
No, you mean like reviews, forums?
Yes. Steam input, Steam in home streaming, the game capture, literally
remote play,
anything.
you know, the best multiplayer technology in the history of ever.
Proton. But yeah, it is the official reason that Valve gave is because they were doing the way that Junk Store works. It modifies the standard Steam UI and it adds new functionality to it. It's not the first time that Valve have said, don't
Valve's being
fuck
proactive,
with the Steam client.
Like they're not going to fucking stop you. They're not going to shut your project down. They're just not going to let you on the fucking store. Now, my only takeaway from this was they shouldn't have let you on the store in the first place.
Yes.
But here we are, ladies and gentlemen. You can still use it, and yeah, a lot of people were furiously upset that a motherfucker wanted to try to eat. So, but don't worry, you can still get it for free, and it was never going to go away for free. But there you go, we did it.
Patreon.
Right. GE Proton 916. We don't normally talk about GE Proton. Why? Because Eggward likes to release that shit like 30 minutes after the show.
Not this time, though.
It's happened more than once to be unintentional, but yeah, no, new versions out. There's a bunch of like under the hood improvements to Y and the XVK, VKD3D, and the NVAPI, the XVK specific. But the big one.
Yeah, I saw something in here. I'm like, I bet Pedro's going to write a little bit about something.
Oh, yeah. As someone who has done so many different workarounds, like renaming the launcher EXE to.
And of course, we're talking about Kingdom Hearts HD.
No.
Birth by Sleep.
But yeah, no, the things that it does is if it detects that there is the script extender, which is one of the, I'd say, the most popular frameworks for mods for Bethesda games, even Fallout New Vegas, because it's using the same engine as Fallout 3. If you have the script extender on the folder, then GE Proton will go, oh, I'll just launch that instead, which is great, which is awesome. I love it. It's, as quality of life improvements go, that one is
there's
major thumbs up.
Speaking of mods, this will also help out for people who are into mods. But there's another nice quality of life feature where they are now adding /MNT media, var run media, and the user's home folder as new drives on the UMU prefix or UMU wine prefix, which now allows you to have access to your removable drives, stuff in your home folder. Because usually when you have your wine prefix started up, it mounts your root folder as the Z drive, but it's sandbox. So if you have other drives underneath those, you may not necessarily have access to it. So this is just a nice little workaround to give you access to your modding directory that you might have on an external drive.
And it's good, again, to see some stuff showing back up in Proton GE or GE Proton because for a long time, you basically just had to use it, man, because, it had all the media codecs and stuff like that. You'd run into the games. It's like, well, I might as well go ahead and have this installed. And like lately, Proton's just gotten good enough where it's just working. But, seeing the UMU or UWU stuff in there, I'm like, all right, I could play around. We got the mod stuff too. So go nibble on it. Everything's going to be in our show notes.
Especially if you're, as Pedro mentioned, if you're going to be adding games as non-Steam apps to take advantage of Proton. Yeah, you want to be using UMU for that. You want GE. because that will make sure that all the Proton fixes for the non-Steam games get applied.
Go check it out. We got some new games to talk about that I dug up this week. I always like to peruse. If you don't know about Next Fest, they're bringing demos back. Somebody at Valve was like, I missed demos. Got Next Fest going. So up next is Steam Dolls.
Ooh. Steam Doll solid.
I clicked play on this trailer and I'm like, shit, I think I might be sold on this, man. Enter the world of Steam Dolls in this narrative-driven stealth meets action adventure. Okay.
Platformer. 2D platformer.
Here we go. Well, I thought we liked stealth action adventures, right? This is like Mark of the Not Ninja, but more like Mark of the Steampunk. I think I could be down with this. The art, it looks really good. And it does control well enough. Again, this one didn't cause my Xbox controller to go haywire. I had a good time with that. Unfortunately, this is only after you go through the first 3 to 4 minutes of unskippable bullshit in the intro.
I do like, because I went through the demo as well.
Yeah.
I do like how he starts off saying, demos suck, or tutorials suck.
Here's
a tutorial.
Yeah, quit being self-aware and not letting me skip the shit.
You can't hang a lampshade over it and still make me do the fucking thing.
The second that went on the screen, I started hammering on the keyboard. I'm like, bitch, you better put something in here. And I'm like, you did not. Boo on you.
Also, there's a lot of nothing in that.
Yeah, dude. Once you get through that, intro of the lore dump and all that, you're rewarded for like 3 to 4 minutes of not really anything to do other than just like run around and climb up on shit. So this got me thinking, lads. It's something I've noticed because this is the cream of the crop for me anyway, that I wanted to share with everybody on the show this week. Steam Dolls Order of Chaos demo. Go try it out yourself. Get your own opinion. Won't cost you anything. Something I just feel like I've noticed, not just this Next Fest, but it definitely last Next Fest, but it really hit this go around this week when I was playing. It's like the art of delivering that vertical slice demo. It's just been lost. In 2024, it seems for the vast majority of everything that I touched, demo just meant first level of game, demo. There you go.
I think that kind of comports with my demo experience. Honestly, I used to subscribe to official US PlayStation magazine, which you brought up why demos about like some guy at Valve misses demos. I think magazines going away was like the real demo killer, because like that was the thing I look forward to when getting like a new PlayStation magazine is the demo CD with all the various like shit that you could try it.
All right, and you look at like PlayStation. Dreamcast was famous for that too. The demo CDs.
Yeah,
and they had but they would drop you into like a part of the game that was designed from the ground. Now I understand that takes a lot more work to just like have that thing, and you're like,
no. Most of the ones that I remember, say all of them did. First couple levels, yeah.
And we went over it on the show a couple of months back. The art of setting up that demo, setting that difficulty curve, setting off that drop off point. Everything that is involved to entice somebody. It's not just chop it off.
The one thing that the ReFantasio or the Metaphor ReFantasio demo did, and that I thought was really smart, was it lets you carry over your save from the demo to the main game. Oh, yeah. And I think games that don't, or demos that don't do that they're missing out.
Make sure that when you dealing with save games, it works switching between native and Proton. Why? Because Steam Deck.
Yes. I played through the demo as well. The opening cinematic is done by Otacon. The main character is voiced by Solid Snake, and there's a Jennifer Hale in there somewhere. I don't know. Was it just me, or did it sound like the dialogue was recorded in a convention somewhere?
Oh, it wasn't great. No, I can't. Well, here's another reason. Like, you've been hanging out with me too long. You got MDR 7506 is on, so you fucking hear every single thing that's wrong with everything.
Yeah, no, I do that at live shows now. I'm like, oh, if I can hear it, the audio tech is going insane right now.
Yeah, you're listening for like 60 hertz, like ground loops and shit, man. You're like, oh boy.
Yeah, I was like, what's that noise? Oh, I know what that is. Yeah. I don't know. I felt like the animation isn't quite there. The art style is very, very good looking, but like the combat is kind of like blocky and clunky.
It's good though. It's good. It doesn't feel like marionette. Fighting
yeah,
like some of them do.
That's true. It does feel a lot better than it looks. I would like a little bit more like fidelity with the animation, and I really do feel that
backgrounds are gorgeous. Though
the backgrounds are great. But the voice cast is very much like, hey, we're gonna hit you with a lot of high quality talking to make up for the fact that like there's some gameplay stuff that isn't quite there. The stealth via Mario mechanic, like I get why you do this in a 2D game, but like I don't know, maybe the other powers you get throughout the game make that a little more dynamic. But the whole like having to dodge the security camera or just like roll behind a dude and bonk him on the head and find an alarm. I don't know. I feel like maybe there's more meat there.
There might be,
but it is just the demo. It's the first level. So
I think more games like something I think like Symphony of the Night. Let's drag that little bastard out.
Okay, sure.
That
never actually played that one,
dude. That's like one of the few PlayStation games that I've ever played because it worked on when I was testing a PlayStation emulator like 50 years ago. That game, I want to see more of that as an example. If you're listening, anybody out there, is drop me in where I'm like OP, where I'm just wrecking shit. Like let me get that power trip fantasy out, and then know that once I go back and get the game, I will be able to expect the journey to get back to that. You know.
So do you like that as like the sort of Metroid, start you off with like all the powers and then take them away from you?
This is what Castlevania. That's what it does. Like you start that game and you're just one-shotting stuff. Then thing happened. Then you're like, oh no, with your little whip and like getting killed to death a lot.
I don't know where I stand on that, honestly, because like on the one degree, like you get to see all the cool shit that you eventually get to do, but it's like. But now I want to do it. I would have been happy with my whip and my jump, and then I get like the crazy dash, and I'm
like different strokes for different strokes. Like for me, that motivates me. I'm like, oh hell yeah! All right, we get to play around then. All right, I'm looking forward to getting to that, and definitely could be put off. But either way, we need to talk about KLETKA.
KLETKA.
Yes, we all love elevators. They're great. Lethal Company. Co-op horror.
It's sex.
More elevators. I mean, listen, dude, when is an elevator not trying to eat you? Am I right? Look at this. This isn't 4x3, so this is a boomer elevator murder simulator.
It's Boomer Company.
Elevator, boomulator. I'm not 100% on that story, but it does definitely look like we need to feed an elevator while it descends. In this particular elevator, not terribly picky, it'll take flesh or fuel, like whatever you want to throw at it. And with that, you have my attention because it is a Linux native game and it looks like it's got some bullshit going on with it. It is in 4x3. There is a demo available and it's got online co-op, baby. What do we think about this?
It reminds me of that M. Night Shyamalan movie, Devil, where they're stuck in the elevator. Yeah.
Okay. See, here's a fun story, man. What year did that come out in?
Oh, like 2008, 9-ish, something?
Somewhere, because I was in theater and the trailer for that came on and it like did that and the entire theater busted out laughing.
Right, yeah.
Because it was like the elevator, M. Night Shyamalan, and we all lost our shit. We're like, really? Yeah, is this the real world? What?
No, I literally made a joke when I saw that trailer the first time. I'm like, the twist is like someone farted in the elevator, and that's really the cause of all the fucking shit.
I really like the art style of this.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like Quake, D-Res a little bit. Yeah.
It doesn't record, dude. This thing runs on Magic, SteamOS, Linux. No minimum, no recommended. Just elevator.
Just null. You don't even need a computer. It runs in reality.
And you don't have to worry about it. It only has the occasional appearance of blood and human body parts. And maybe an act of murder, but a little tiny one. It's tasteful act of murder.
You can have a little murder as a treat every once in a while.
I mean, well, vitamin murder.
I mean,
vitamin M for murder. Listen, it's the full moon out. It's time for murder.
I'm not entirely up to speed on what elevators eat, but...
What, you've never been to the maintenance bay and saw the flush hole?
Yeah.
No, not the flush hole, no.
They're pretty omnivorous.
The bottom to recover...
Pedro's just learning that elevators are fucking hybrids.
Yeah. They're daywalkers.
I can safely say I've never been to the flesh bin.
Electricity at day, hitchhikers at night. Don't ask me about the logistics of the hitchhikers of the elevator, but that's how it works.
You need a ride going up the stair. You don't want to take the stairs. You're like, hey, can I bum a ride off this paid elevator?
You just see an elevator peeking around the corner,
the
like,
flesh vader.
Hey, need a ride? I'm like, no, don't fall for it. Some good news for everybody out there. We got quite the surprise earlier this week with a game from 1836.
Yes, a very, very old one, but it's open source. Rogue Legacy. We threw chairs at it way back in the day. It is an FNA game, and after so long, they're like, you know what? And after a relatively successful sequel as well, which we also threw chairs at, they're like, hey, we can open source this game. No one's really buying it anymore, and you do actually still need to buy the game because it is just the FNA engine bits, and you still need to buy the game for the assets. But I just always get happy when I see studios do this, like especially for their older games, especially if there was a relatively successful franchise like Rogue Legacy was. Yeah, here, take a crack at our old game, mod it, turn it into something else, do something neat with it. It's better than those Pokemon leaks. Ugh.
Yeah, and still better, a better license than Winamp. Right off the bat, flibbity says Rogue Legacy source code is released under a specialized non-commercial use license. And if you click on the license, it's basically very similar to the same one that was released under. So, yeah, it is. You can use it for your own edification, as it were, but you can't do any kind of commercial or pro-commercial something that would benefit you financially or help you land the job, anything like that. You can't really use this source code for that.
Don't put it in your portfolio.
Yeah, no. You can't also claim that you did it. There's very specific about that. It's like, if you use any of it, you need to
mess around, man. Flibbit will call the internet police on you. I was kind of shocked,
Flibbit
dude.
Will just wake you up in the middle of the
night. Here's what I was looking at. I was like, how much are these assets? This game's still $14.99.
Yeah. Oh. It does go on sale a lot, though.
All right. It's probably in a humble bundle right now, too. So
yeah. Keep
that in mind. Okay.
It's happening, you guys.
Here's your moment of zen and wishful thinking. Let's give the Linux Gamecast listening audience their lottery ticket so they can sit around for a week and fantasize about what could possibly happen. Of course, we're talking about Half-Life 2. Because you know what? The world right now really could use Half-Life 2 Episode 3 by Razer 1911 right about now. They're bringing it. But like real talk, these depots, they're still, we've covered this a couple of weeks back, maybe a month or two ago. They were up to fucking something. This is all we know. They are actively up to fucking something. Windows, Mac, Linux, Half-Life 2 depot. This is the anniversary year, right, lads?
I guess, yeah.
That was the speculation.
2024, yeah.
Yeah. So like, it would be nice if we got something Half-Life 2 related. And this got me thinking. This is what I want to know. Let me know in the comments. Just like for real talk. How much would you pay for Half-Life 2? Not on the Half-Life 2, maybe Source 2 engine, Episode 3. All right? They release it as DLC. It's not free. You got to fucking buy this. We get that Episode 3. We finally get that fucking payoff. We finally get that reach around after all these years. And I'm like, what would that be worth to me in 2024? And I think that's a fair question. Well, you're going to get it. Let's just face it. Like at some point, you're going to get it. You got to play it. And I'm thinking if it's like $19.99, done. Won't even think about it. Just going to click buy now.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, yeah, $20 is kind of like the threshold. I think they could probably, if there'd be like, it's the one you've really been waiting for, you guys, they could maybe even bump that to $30 and people would still just buy it.
Well, Pedro, what do we think about that? Because as soon as we start getting to like $30+, I'm like, see, responsible Vin on a fucking podcast is like, I'll wait because it'll go on sale. However, other Vin sitting there the day Half-Life 2 Episode 3 drops, we're playing with our lottery ticket right now. If you're just tuning in, back this shit up a little bit. Don't get too excited. I mean, like, I'm just going to buy it, even at $30. I hate to break. Now, I think 34, 35, where I'm just like, you know what? I'll wait. I'll just watch somebody else play it.
See, so you might wait, but a lot of people won't because.
So. One thing I wanted to bring up is what if it's fucking huge? What if it's like basically like another half of Half-Life 2, right?
It doesn't have to be. That's the thing. It's Half-Life 2 Episode 3. people have been wanting that for.
This could just be a 8-minute cutscene.
It could, but I think the conversation does change, like in terms of like valuation, right? Like
fully automatic crowbars.
If it's like the Elden Ring DLC, right? Like I think they could probably get away with charging like full price, and people would buy that.
Yeah, but the Elden Ring DLC is the size of a lot of other Souls-like games that have come out this year as well. So
you're like, what the fuck? It's $70, and you click it, and Uplay launches. Like, oh, right.
Epic Game Store online services installed.
It is using the Epic Online Services, yes, but that's because it's using EAC. No, it is at this point. They could release it at $70, and people would bitch, people would complain, but tons of fucking people would still buy it, even if it was just like 6 hours of. Hey, we finally wrapped up the story.
6 hours of Michigan J Frog going, hello, my baby, hello, my funny. I mean, here's the plot.
We already know what
3.
the story of episode 3 is, because Mark Laidlaw, when he left Valve a while back, he's back now at Valve, I think, but he left and he released the script, but it wasn't called episode 3. It was called Epistle 3.
I'm not going to spoil it for anybody. They're his fever dream vision of what was going to take place that never did. So we don't fucking know. We're just speculating.
Right. And like, it's not like that could change at all in the interim.
We never know. More than likely, what is this? What do we have? What are our facts on the fucking table that they're up to something? We don't know what. This could be, an engine upgrade. This could just be more quality of life updates for the Steam Deck for all we know. But
yeah, it started, about a month ago, they removed a bunch of macOS stuff. And about 2 weeks ago, they updated the, frequent violence or gore and general mature content warnings.
Yep.
Ever since then it's been encrypted download, encrypted GID, encrypted download, encrypted size, encrypted download.
You got to do it though. You got to do it because Half-Life 2 Episode 3 you play as a headcrab.
No, it's a VR Half-Life 2 for the Deckard.
There we go. Do it. That just would make the internet so angry. Make it VR only.
VR only for the Deckard. Deckard's not coming out. This is all just for the ARM build. That's it.
What if they do a complete they remake Half-Life 2 using like what they did with Alex?
That could be an interesting experience. Like the entirely like VR Half-Life 2. Would that get people to buy Vives? I don't know, but
fuck no.
That would make the 3 people that have a Vive very, very happy.
Yeah.
No, it would make them go to their closet, Pedro.
dig out their Vives.
Right.
And actually poke at the lighthouse. It's like, do you still work?
So there you go. If you're at Valve and you have anything to let us know what's going on, leave a comment. We won't tell anybody till next week when we do.
Yeah.
Good news, everybody. They finally got rid of Minetest. It's not around. What was it? Was it Minetest and the other one we were talking about? One or the other?
Minetest Plus
or something. Yeah, dude. And we started getting people white knighting one and talking shit about the other one. I'm like, they ain't enough of us to have these kind of fights. However,
no,
Minetest is going away.
No more. They have decided that it's too confusing. People are getting confused and they're like, oh, is this a Minecraft re-engineering? Is this a Minecraft clone? And sort of, kind of, yeah, but it's sort of become its own thing. And so they have picked a new name. It is a Finnish pun about creating things in Lua because the game is Lua based. They call it Luanti. I probably would have preferred Perkele Craft, but that's just me. But yeah, they basically go into why they're doing this. They want to separate themselves from Minecraft, even though that's kind of the one thing that people know them for. But hey, you know what?
Oh man, I thought it was on the Winamp repo there for a second.
Yeah. Right. No, but it is what it is, right? They want to rebrand. I wish them luck. I will say, name recognition is a hell of a drug, though. You're gonna have people still calling it Minetest, regardless of how many. Yeah,
I think you're underselling that. This will always and forever be known as Minetest.
Yeah,
you could call this Chainsaw Ham Sandwich, and we're all just for the end of days. You're only changing this name for you guys
for the branding. Yeah,
I hate to break that. If you didn't realize that, this will always be Minetest.
I absolutely understand the wanting to move away to Minetest, especially No, like
I mean,
you
I
move
get it.
away
I'm
from
agreeing
that.
with you, Pedro.
Yeah, you move away from the mine test. It's like the implication is there that it was a Minecraft adjacent thing.
Wait, I thought it was like that game where you defuse bombs, except with mines.
Yes, you test mines.
Yeah.
You just go up to them with a stick and you poke them.
Oh, I thought you said mime test. And I bought all these rubber gloves for nothing.
I bought all this face
No.
paints.
The replacement name though, that's shit.
Well, you're either going to keep calling it mine test or Illuminati. It's going to be one of those two.
It's like, it's going to be called Luanti. It's like, oh, fuck you. Really?
Yeah. I mean, laughs in GIMP.
GIMP is, haha, funny joke. Luanti is like, it's based on the Finnish word for creation.
You want people
no,
you
you're just trying to justify it at this point.
Absolutely. Positively. No one's going to be able to find it when they search for it. Got it.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
No one's going to remember to even start this discussion.
You are at the mercy to whatever AI, Google, or Bing puts your query together when you type in that Minecraft clone thing.
So let's turn this into something constructive.
How
So
dare
do you think
No.
that the best way going forward, if you want to change your project's name, is just kill the old project and start a new one? Because no one's going to switch to the new name. Everyone's going to
say you don't need to kill the old one.
The internet's going to do exactly what the
do.
internet does, dude. Like, as soon as you tell the internet to do something, you're just going to double down on the thing you told them not to do.
Yeah, you just kill it and be like, no, I'm moving over here.
Like, I've watched this play out over the past couple of months because OBS NDI changed its name to Distro AV.
How'd that work out for him?
It didn't.
That's what I mean. I think you need to take the extreme measure of cutting it off if you want to change the name. Otherwise, you kind of just got to live with it.
That's the thing. By all means, start a new project. Do something based on what you've created up to this point. But leave it alone. Everyone knows it as Minetest.
I mean, call it.
It's already.
I mean, it
its
worked.
own
Listen,
thing.
it worked for X.
Yeah,
Right.
that worked. Really?
Yeah. follow me on Twitter at the Burning Pool.
Anyway, best of luck, guys. We're just giving you a hard time. I haven't fucked around with Minetest, not for any other reason than I just haven't fucked around with Minecraft. I was outside of the generation, and I've never had a reason to get back in and play it. Jordan's going to tell you how to get rid of those filthy, nasty, stinky cheaters, or at least how they tried to do it.
Well,
But
how they successfully did it.
Yeah.
They managed to do it for a while. This is a fun little story from mogbegly.com. Links to all this stuff is in our show notes. But they were the runners of Invex Gaming, which was a rather popular community server for Counter-Strike Global Offensive. And like all communities, they had to deal with their cheaters. And they bring in the technical challenge of, well, how do you identify cheaters and how do you keep cheaters out?
That's just Pedro playing.
Right. Yeah.
Except I never used cheats.
So originally, you only had a couple ways to identify a player. You could use their Steam ID, or you could use their IP address. And changing your IP address, really easy. You unplug your modem, you plug it back in, away you go. You can, according to this write-up, some of these cheaters had in excess of hundreds of Steam accounts just ready to go because they really just wanted to cheat. So how do you catch that? It turns out that in the CSGO server, for a while, there was a browser that would pop up that you could just run arbitrary code from a server. Eventually, Valve removed that because, remote code execution from your game server in a game that's potentially running on a privileged account, maybe not a thing you want to enable. But because but this community was able to take advantage of this by essentially fingerprinting the Steam home folder, the Steam folder install directory. They'd stick a cookie in there. And even if you logged into a different Steam account, even if you changed your IP address, that file would still exist because you would need to actually go in and delete the folder in your Steam Steam directory, which is something that people wouldn't normally do. That would basically require you to need to reinstall Steam every time you get caught. Now it's actually easy to identify and remove these files, which is why they didn't make this solution very, very wildly well known, because it was incredibly successful. Apparently, cheaters were calling them, being like, "Yo, can you help me out? I'm gonna squeal on some other guys if you let me back in."
Oh man, really?
Yeah, there were. Yeah, it was quite a successful
Look
thing,
at
and
this.
they so many cheaters, and then they were banned. One big ban wave, and that was it. So yeah, it turns out fingerprinting is one way of implementing cheat detection and banning and keeping people out. So it's an interesting technical write-up. I don't think any of the stuff is like relevant for this day and age, considering it required some pretty insecure stuff to operate in the first place. But maybe there is, and I guess this is where TPM comes in. TPM allows you to this is what the Riot anti-cheat is using to flag people, and apparently it has been very successful because they're banning the hardware on the motherboard if you want to get back in your League of Legends game. But you basically just need to buy a new computer.
That's like my garlic. That's how I keep Windows 11 away.
Yeah, or using the USB TPM modules.
Yeah. Doesn't want to haunt it.
Oh, that's you know that's coming to Linux at some point too, right? Like they're just gonna Proton's just gonna have like some TPM integration to ban folks.
Well, yeah, I like that, and like I see it on Threadripper all the time because it doesn't have TPM on this first gen Threadripper motherboard, and it boots up and it bitches about not being able to find TPM. I'm like, yeah.
Mm-hmm. That you can set it up to automatically unencrypt your drive if you have full drive encryption. If you have a TPM chip, it's actually fairly easy to do on Fedora. I have it set up on the laptop.
I don't have any of my drives encrypted. If you're at my house, I'm already fucked.
Yeah, on a desktop, it doesn't make a lot of sense, but on a laptop,
on a laptop, not really, because I'm going to steal the laptop and I'm going to have the key loaded in the fucking BIOS, right? I don't have to enter a password. It's...
I like the idea, like you want to catch it like mid-use. You're like sitting there, you're like, yoink.
Yeah, I mean the main protection there is like if someone clones your drive or whatever. Right?
Oh yes, it is just encryption at rest, effectively. But yeah, no, using a cookie, using literally a tracking cookie for good to try and catch cheaters. Good job, seriously.
Privacy badger intensifies.
A dude I watch, he's become part of like my background noise, is Pirate Software, Twitch streamer.
Yeah, Thor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Thor. And he used to work at Blizzard.
He used to work for the DoD too. He's a pretty cool resume. Yeah.
And I've talked about him, but he was explaining like ban waves.
Mm-hmm.
Why you have to do it in waves. You can't just always be throwing down the same shit. And I'm like, why? Because they learn too quick.
Mm-hmm.
You got to knock them out. You can't give them a chance to adapt. So you got to sit there and collect and not do anything. Let them fucking cheat and get all that, collect all those data points, then wipe them out. Then you wait for the next one.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, makes sense. All right, that's why we're not always just banning people every single fucking day. And that's why you're going to encounter cheaters in your multiplayer game. You know, if you're doing it right, you got to put up with it. It's a necessary evil until we get enough, data points together and like, boom, then we're going to smack your better down.
As the article here says, it's a cat and mouse game, right? Like,
yeah.
It is very much, you implement something, cheaters implement something else, and so on and so forth. And the best you can do is gather information. And
if you are somebody, I've made this offer and I want to make it every time we talk about cheating. Like, I will bring you on. I will disguise your voice. I will hold a sock puppet for you to talk through. If you are somebody who has like legitimately paid for cheats and you can talk about this stuff, and prove to me that you have, and not just like, sure, I want to be on the show. I'll bring you on because I'm genuinely fascinated. Like, what is the motivation behind like spending money to cheat in like online shooters? Something we got excited about, at least I did, was Qualcomm's Snapdragon, because they made something that was kind of an answer to Apple's M series. Apple, really the ones that did it. Apple's got to do something before the industry follows. This has just been, if you've been alive for the last 20 years, we've had to wait, then the insufferable, the Apple humans are like, Apple invented this. And like, no, they didn't.
And then you got to wait for the patents to expire.
That's got to rock and roll, kids. So the Snapdragon came out, and it was this fire-breathing YOLO ARM chip that wasn't an M series. It didn't come with an Apple Tax. Really excited about it, wanted to play around with it, and there was a big push for Windows. And like Microsoft was serious, man. They're like, we got Windows running on this thing. We're going to be selling like high-end ARM laptops running Windows. This shit, 2024 is the year of Windows on ARM. And Qualcomm's like, well, cool. Did that check clear? Peace. We're out. They've canceled the Snapdragon dev kit. They're refunding all the orders. I saw this over at Jeff Geerling's blog. And I'm like, all right. So that definitely happened. It's quite unfortunate, man, because I wanted one of these dev kits. They were about $700. And this is basically just the predictable end result of like Qualcomm just not engaging with the Linux community. And this ended with very predictable results. And I might want to mention that dev kit that's going by on the screen it's not even really available now. People are still waiting on them. And they weren't even generally available until a couple of months after the laptop released, the flagship one, which, a couple of different companies made it, which forced people who wanted to do development on these things to go out and just buy this instead of the dev kit, which was another dum-dum. So yeah, Qualcomm cashed that MS check, and they're like, peace. Had a good run.
You can join their Discord, though, if you want more information about Windows.
Can't you, though, man?
Seriously, yeah, I saw that at the end of their press release. Like, fucking seriously, join our Discord? Qualcomm, yeah. You're $1 billion company. Shut the fuck up.
I'm looking at some of these comments. Like, Jason's like, mine just arrived today. Talk about collector's item, homie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And like, you want one of these? I want one of these. For those of you who don't remember, this was a 12-core, 32 gig of memory system in the form factor of a Mac Mini. This is like a badass little fucking computer with an ARM CPU.
I just got done with a fucking video about running a Track Media server on a fucking Pi Zero W. Like, when I think about that, like, let's scale that.
How many Track Media servers can you run off of this?
Yeah, it's like, that's when old man Vin's like, yeah, Docker's awesome. Let's go.
Yeah. It's unfortunate that a lot of these are getting canceled. I wonder if any of these are going to like end up on eBay, or is it just dumpster?
Mm-mm. Every one of them, these are going to be jealously guarded, dude.
Yeah. The first, there aren't many.
Like, I wonder like how many like boxed versions of this exist. Like they canceled it. Like, in what stage of production were they at?
They've been available, like they've been shipping out like limited runs of like people who've pre-ordered, put their money down. Just so like whatever was sitting around, like this to me smells like they're done with a production run of this, hopefully going to, the second generation of whatever they're going to be working on. But it's also Qualcomm. Qualcomm's getting like sued right now, and they've like laid off a lot of people recently. So
and the actual dev kit that Jeff Geerling had when he took it apart, the FCC notice actually said that it hadn't gone through the FCC certification or any of the electronic device certifications that are required for both the US and the EU. That one that he got had not gone through any of those, which is not standard practice. Usually you want, even if you're sending it out to influencers, YouTubers.
Now, I do wonder. Hi, Jeff. Jeff watched one of our live streams.
Where are the bodies, Jeff? We know you.
I don't know, will like dev kit hardware, if they would bother going through like the certification process. Like I could see an avenue of like
when
these aren't consumer devices. Yeah, like exactly. Like we're not selling. See, what I'm curious about, like if you got a Nintendo dev kit, if you got your Switch 2 dev kit, send me some pictures of it on the front and back, so I can get a good look at it and see if it's got
it's just an iPhone.
Right.
Yeah, if you have any of the old console dev kits, take pictures of the FCC sticker, just so we can see.
There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is time to wrap it up. But we did do hate mail last week, so I got some hate mail for you. Hold on, there's actually a lot more, but we're going to get through 2 of them tonight. You want to leave a message, do it under the video over on YouTube, and that's the best place to do it. You can head over to Linux Gamecast. We've got an email address if you want to do it that way. And of course, leave a comment on the Patreon post if you're one of those beautiful people, and somebody will guaranteed 100% get back to you in one way, shape, form or fashion. But this week, speaking of, what was it last week we were talking? Oh, right, Steam, right?
Steam. You're no longer buying stuff, and I gotta give this user credit because I was talking about the Culture series last week, and Player of Games, Gerge themselves writes in. And they say, California Law AB 2426. I'm glad it exists finally. It's been years since Steam opened its doors in 2002. The reason for these storefronts is evergreen sales. You'll note that there isn't yet a grandfathering right to accounts. You can't get generational wealth of handing down game access from account to account, generation after generation. We did see this actually. You cannot will your Steam account to another individual. This was covered. You may be able to get special dispensation from Valve if you like go there with a lawyer and get their explicit permission, but generally no. You cannot pass. You cannot share your
and I get it.
Owned games.
I get it, because the second even if you allowed that, what are people? They're going to start selling their accounts, which I guess like you should be able to sell your licenses, right? I mean, like you could like make an above board like trading house, right?
Yeah.
A website of like Steam accounts for sale. Totally legit.
Well, those websites already exist. Yes.
True.
I mean,
there's websites for a lot of stuff that exist.
Yes.
Low bar. But no, I mean, I'd be down for that shit. Like, let's do that. Valve, let people sell their fucking accounts.
Or have an easy way to transfer licenses in between users. Like,
see, that's when you start getting like the game company. Game company's like, no.
You can't transfer our game.
Everybody else is fine, but not ours.
Yeah, no. Game companies they don't like the secondhand market at all.
Unless you're Wizards, then you exclusively depend on the secondhand market.
Yeah, just the one thing.
See, here I am. My nosy ass just wants to be able to because I want to creep on other random people's fucking Steam accounts. Like, look at what games they have.
Can already do that. It defaults to public on the Steam community.
And buy it.
Okay, but not buy it.
Fuck yeah, dude. It's like fucking eBay. You find the one with like, oh shit, look at all these fucking AAA titles. This dude only wants $10.
Earth 2049. Oh my god, that's so
by
rare.
default, you can go see what games they have, what achievements they have, what screenshots they took, what they have in their Sim inventory. Yeah, that by default is public, but it wasn't 2002, it was 2003. I had to double check to make sure, but yeah, September 12, 2003 was the initial release of Steam. Unless you're counting that piece of shit that didn't work to update Half-Life.
So you were off an entire year. Argument invalid.
No, it's 2002. That doesn't sound right.
I don't know, man.
Because Half-Life 2 came out in 2004 and Steam came out a year before that. So
Katana, the family sharing, takes most of that. Wait, the only thing I'm ever concerned about, the new family sharing is awesome. I love it. I use it all the time between these boxes when I'm testing stuff. Is here's what I want to know, Valve. Feel free to leave a comment, at Valve. Gabe, I want to comment on this YouTube video. It just says ham.
Pierre, get back to us, right?
How long will my deceased relative's account exist while inactive? Because there's a number somewhere in your system that says this motherfucker's dead. I don't know what it's set to. You would have to imagine,
is it like the 32-bit int and it just dies at the epoch in 2038?
Yeah, when you're 1,000 years old, that's when Steve draws the line. I don't know. Having dealt with a bunch of these systems that have long-term accounts with retention, I mean, it really depends. And for someone,
I don't think it necessarily costs them anything.
Yeah.
But if it's not being accessed, then
somebody at Valve had to have brought this situation or scenario up when they were working on this new family sharing thing. Somebody had to go.
It's also very real that someone said, we'll deal with that problem when it comes up.
Valve time.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's when someone takes us to court on that.
Yeah,
sure.
And
when Gabe dies, then we'll worry about that.
For the three of us, we got a different take. The reason I want to give Katana, I mentioned Katana's got kids, and he's got his game library.
Mm-hmm.
You want to pass that shit on, right?
I use family sharing for my immediate family too, because like
This was your father's Steam account. I kept it.
This was your father's Skyrim, and this is my Skyrim, and this is your Skyrim.
What this is going to do is people are just going to will their passwords and their phones with the Steam Guard. It's like, there you go. You have access to my Steam account.
Yeah, okay. There's a better example. Like what happens when a security thing gets triggered for like one of their accounts, one of the deceased family members, and like you lose access to that. And like I don't think you have any recourse.
You don't, probably not.
You have a lawyer.
Yeah, then you got lawyer versus like value of Steam games. You're like, no, you don't. You don't.
Unless you are yourself a lawyer and you have a lot of free time. And
even then, if you are a lawyer and you're like even remotely competent, you're like, I can just buy them. Like, whatever.
Yeah, it's like, do I really need a 9th copy of Skyrim? The answer is yes.
Yeah, that's the thing. People with 4 digits worth of Steam games. Hi, hello. I started to look at
Pedro,
how
who
much
doesn't
it would
have
cost.
1,000+ Steam games?
Most people don't. Yes, I know. But I'm just saying, for me personally, looking at buying back
Jordan, do you
even
have
the games that I'd want to keep,
I have like 800, 900.
I have 1,000 games. I have over 1,000 games, and which is fun because
1,478. Yes.
Outside of Skyrim, I had no games on Steam until it had a Linux client.
The sales really do. Going back to the
Humble
evergreen sales
bundles,
thing,
dude.
Humble bundles were the big one. Yes.
It
That's
really
how I
does
went
like
from
encourage
having
you
100
to accumulate these games and not actually play them.
And then when Humble Bundle started like expiring keys, really got me to. But then again, I gave away 9 pages of Steam keys. On top of that, it was just games that I couldn't even bother to redeem. So, all right, we good on that? Let's talk about Nintendo. Nintendo made some news.
Yes, they made a bunch of different news, but this is from Straight Positive. It says, a lot of us have supported Nintendo by purchasing multiple Switch consoles in a single household. Me personally, I sold one of my Switch consoles to get a Steam Deck, and the Switch 2 doesn't perform at least as well as a Steam Deck, then there's no way I can do another generation with Nintendo. I'll just introduce my son to PC gaming. You should. It's way more cost effective.
You already should have.
Performance, time, you know what? If I got a fucking kid, like being all kids and shit, yeah, I would rather them have a fucking Switch just because I don't have to deal with that shit.
Yeah,
there's no questions. It either works or it don't. Nothing daddy can do.
Yeah, but give him a Steam Deck. Let him explore a little bit. Give him the ability to, if they want to, go into desktop mode.
We need a Steam Deck Lite. We all right. By that I mean whatever that fucking PlayStation thing is.
The PS Portal.
Portal.
Yeah, we need a Steam Deck Portal for the youths.
we need the Fisher Price Steam Deck that's like ruggedized so that a kid can chew on it and shit. Like, so I have 2 Switches in the house because I came with one and my wife came with one, and I think a lot of people are in that situation. And Nintendo, for being the social console, Nintendo really does want everyone to have a Switch, despite the fact that it comes with 2 controllers. That is 1 controller.
Yeah, but you can absolutely like look at the numbers. Like Nintendo won that one. Pretty much everyone does have a Switch. Yeah.
No, yeah, but I mean like that's the point, is that was kind of their strategy. Yeah, we joke a lot about the Switch too. I think a lot of people, I wonder how much like first party rose tinted goggle nostalgia is gonna overpower if Nintendo just releases just a completely dog shit system. Like,
I don't think they will.
Diehard Switch fans are already kind of pissed off.
So like brought up in chat there, Relaxed Hedgehog. Yeah, you get a kid in the house, so you've already made the fucking deal, right? Build your own PC, and like, how did that work out?
So the deal I made was I built him the PC. Mm-hmm. I set up Windows with myself as his mom as the administrator. Right. And I'm like, if you install your own operating system on this computer, you can do whatever the fuck you want with it.
Mm.
Up until that point, you still. Yeah,
you use the limited account.
If you don't want to deal with that shit, you still got to go through me. That's the arrangement.
I listen. I think that's fair, and I think my other thing for training would be, you can get there. I would have an old Linksys fucking router with web encryption on it on the Wi-Fi. Like that's your internet access once you figure out how to get into it.
Yeah. But I mean, like, honestly, a lot of these kids are playing on either their PC or
mobile,
like, or their iPad or whatever.
Their phone, yes.
Yeah. I mean, we were talking about, you posted the Stumble Buddies product.
Yeah, dude,
like,
I was at Walmart today and they had Stumble Buddies toys.
Yeah, yeah.
I haven't seen the Stumble Buddies toys here.
That fucked me up. That fucked me up kind of hard. I'm like
it was the knockoff game has become the game.
Yeah,
yeah. That's what happens when you get in bed with Timmy.
Hydrox. Yeah,
it is. But they did the one thing, like the most obvious thing they did is they put it on mobile.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, that game is an Android game. First. Yeah,
you can tell from the obnoxious amount of alternate currencies and microtransactions that is constantly pushing at you.
It's a constant, it's a Skinner gotcha game, but like, I don't joke around. Do yourself a favor and look up, I say it for, for a bit of humor on the show, that the entirety of like PC and console gaming were a fucking rounding error compared to mobile game market. We just are. And those people spend some money. Now, it's like, they're not real gamers. I'm like, well, however I'm just talking like raw numbers. That I never understood how come Fall Guys never won on mobile. I was like, this is the perfect game. They didn't. They paid the price.
Well, it was because they wanted it to be installable via Epic and not via the iOS.
Beats the fuck out of me. Yeah, right. Yeah,
yeah. You got to sideload that shit.
Yeah, it's not a problem.
Fortnite.
It's like, we bought Rocket League. That worked well. Let's do it again. Oh.
Did it though? Are people still playing Rocket League? Do people talk about Rocket League anymore?
Rocket League is still an esports thing.
Did it kill it? No. Did it turn it into a static entity? Yes. It has not. It's only shrunk.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The only people staying are the diehards.
You had that explosive growth where they were doing the arenas with Rocket League, and that like got locked in, like snapshot that time, and it's just getting smaller, and like relevance is going away. Which sucks because it was such a fun game. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap us up. Again, if you want to leave a little bit of hate mail, a little bit of feedback, you can do it live. Come check us out over here on Twitch, 8 p.m. on Saturdays, or just drop a comment under the video. I do want to thank Basil X for that 57-month resub.
57 whole months. Thank you.
This is kind of brilliant, man. All of our beautiful party patrons, if you like this show, you want the uncut version, you're listening to this and you're watching this however you want to consume it, the produced version, you're going to notice it's going to be about an hour long. And I'm like, yeah, probably. And you're like, you know what? I kind of want the 3-hour version of that. That is totally available in the live and uncut video and audio for your perusal. And as a patron, you get access to our super secret Discord. Also, if you're a Twitch sub, you can come hop in that. That's going to let you come play some Trackmania with us. You can join in on game streams. Jordan's doing stuff on Thursdays as well. It's not just me, and we're going to be walking around a little bit in the after shows and access to our show notes. Just a gang of stuff. Go check it out. We'd appreciate your support. If not, tell us to get wrecked. That's cool. We can still be friends. Do us a solid though. Like, subscribe, and all that reshare stuff, man. Tell your friends. Tell your cats. And quit being so awesome. Kids. There we go. If you got questions for me, interfacing Linux, do it. Also, if you want to play some RPG, role-playing, man, but with cars, we're going to be doing that. We kind of fucked up on Friday. We had this great idea to get done with the rounds match, and it's just open to everybody. You don't need to be a Twitch subscriber. You don't need to be Patreon. Nothing at all. What you do need is the ability and patience to set up the RPG stuff for Trackmania 2 Stadium, which is its own gatekeeping thing, which I'm like, that's sufficient. And we'll be doing that at like 8:30 p.m. Eastern after we get done with a rounds match. So if you've ever watched like American Ninja Warrior or American Gladiator, something like that, that obstacle course of nonsense, that's what we'll be doing. Would love to see you then. But that's going to wrap us up for tonight. So let's go ahead and cue that music. You can always find this right here on Twitch, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Moon Time, where we're doing this, joining the live madness and mayhem. Of course, you can find me on X at Vinstone, on our Mastodon, mast.linuxgamecast.com, at Vin, and on Blue Sky, where I'm probably still the only Vin. That's VENN, 2 N's, 1 E. No diesel,
No cup. I'm Jordan. I have. Well,
Hi,
actually, I don't
Jordan.
have any cups. I don't have any cups here today. I was a good boy, and I. Oh wait, no, I have one. Never mind. I'm a bad boy, and I
Damn
didn't
it.
take away my dishes. You can scold me about cleaning my coffee cups more at Burning Fool on Twitter, at Frojo at bsky.app, or at Frojo at mask.liveteamcast.com.
And in researching about Venn diagrams and whatnot, I did find that there was a Pedro scale that was last amended on June 21st, 1999. So much
too
like
much Pedro.
myself, it is entirely irrelevant. You can find me on Mastodon, that's unaccounted for, with the actual number 4 at mask.linuxgamecast.com.
In the year of our current Pedro.
In the year of our Pedro 12.
Raw men, roll them credits.
No, it's like it's not ramen. It's the microwave burgers from Tesco.
Yes. They're good. Totally not the McRib ones. Are
Yeah, that's the
actually
sound
good.
somebody makes. Or like, yeah, I make myself sick.
Yeah,
on
the
those
salesperson.
things.
We gotta thank our advisors out there, and we gotta thank our executive producers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Ian, Ishep, Kurducky, Drummer, Targos, Barbara M. Scott, Atomic Ass Mike, and our little Nikki fans. They are Glorious, Eggy, Basil, Empty, and Casey Clozum.
And the Sea Monsters, the Sing Joe, there he is. John, Dirty Deed, Angel Dementor, System TRL, Rider X Machina, Nehemiah, Veritanuda,
We
Trudge,
got some
Mike,
death
and the
notes
Death
like
Notes.
Oil Hope, Benjamin, Martin, Dodger,
Oil
Kim,
of Hoop, Benjamin,
Jill
Nova,
and Steve.
Shadow,
Look at all these
Nova,
chairlings flying by.
Nova,
Are they flying by or are they gliding by? Or are they just slowly jiggling
They're
beyond my
floating.
perception? Jiggling is floating if you're brave enough.
Daniel.
And of course,
Jiggling is
Sandy
like
and Shiny
erratic
over there on
floating.
LibrePay. linuxgamecast.com/support. Make it
Needs
happen.
more wiggle jiggle.
Always with a wiggle, sometimes the jiggle.
Needs more unga, slightly less bunga.
I don't know, man. I'm a pretty big fan of Bunga.
All right, maybe a little more bunga.
Bonus Bunga. All right, beautiful people. Dynafire. See you next week.
Bye.
You're the Unga to my Bunga. I'm like, we're getting a divorce.
5 dudes.